Go into it, huh? I missed the roll. I don't know who's on what, but also today's deck being called Blue Red Hullbreaker is a light way to put it. The worst part about this whole thing is I just know that they're going to be bantering the whole time because it's just all local guys playing each other. Silent Man be so proud. It's pink sleeves against pink sleeves. Again, if you're just getting back as we're just getting started again, there is a prediction up. If you have not done a prediction, you can vote for what side you think is going to win the match. We have TJ Radizak on Blue Red Hall Breaker slash taking turns slash Chandra slash other cards in his deck. I don't know. And then against Phoenix. No, so that's the joke, comma, is that the entire right team is the 12 expressive iterations team. That is what they called themselves. Because they are each playing 4 copies of expressive iteration. Which pink ones do you have? Do you have pink ones or pink diamond ones? I really like the pink diamond ones. They're like a little bit darker, so you can't see through the backs. Well, speaking of expressive iteration, Cue Ball has Quentin, I guess, has 2 in his hand. I'm pretty sure TJ goes, I don't know if I'm keeping my hand. Just to mess with them. Got him. Yeah. If you don't have the diamonds, I recommend those. Because they're like pink sleeves, but sick. They're like dope.
Way too hard out there.
Is that like 3 express federations in his hand? I have no idea. It's okay, Bibbs. You'll figure it out. We already have a question at the table. Huh?
I gotta raise them like a pie because I think I won't sneeze.
Oh. Well, okay, so one big key factor that I just noticed in TJ's hand is he has the Flame Blitz card. If you do not know what that is, it is like magma spray. When it kills one of these phoenixes by doing 2 damage, it is going to exile them.
Wait.
We'll find out what Q wants to do here. He's probably considering playing land, just hard casting a Phoenix, or casting this expressive iteration and trying to hit a land off it. Although if doing this plan doesn't guarantee a Phoenix, based on what I think's in his hand, because it looks like it's pretty land heavy. Like, you probably won't even be too sad if it hits Thing in the Ice, Treasure Cruise, and Thing in the Ice, Treasure Cruise, and Charter Course is the cards that you get. Oh, well, Legacy, but no duel. There ain't no Legacy here, man. Come on. That'd be so good. Mizium Mortars. I believe it's. How much is it to make it do? Is it just 4 to a creature, like, naturally? I don't remember exactly what it is. Medium more is a 4 damage target creature you don't control, or you can pay 6 and overload it, and it does with all. Okay. That's. I couldn't remember exactly what the overload or kicker. I didn't know if it was kicker or overload or whatever. So we're casting a cruise, which seems pretty good. I think it's another Phoenix that got put in hand. I think Lightning Axe is probably going to be an awful card in this matchup. Oh, dude, I've been calling it Hall Breacher all the time. Like, I do not blame you for thinking that. I even put it in our Discord, and I was like, man, this Hall Breacher card is pretty good. And they're like, yeah, that's why I got Bandit Commander. I was like, what? And then somebody put a picture of what I said. I was like, oh, I meant Hall Breaker. But I definitely get the sentiment there. We got another reader. Somebody who's a sub will hit him with the reader emote.
Well, I mean, if I could have subscribed.
Yeah, good job. Comma and T-Bibs. Oh, you almost made a pyramid. So TJ basically said this deck's super sick on the fact that, like, when you start taking extra turns and you have a Chandra in play, that the Chandra starts doing some whack stuff. Grix, are you playing Dress Down Shadow? Corrupted? I forget sometimes that these are going to be YouTube videos and I should restate the questions. But. Or was it just like a Grixis Shadow without Dress Down? I'm very curious. Ah, yes, sir. That is the answer. I just think it's so sick that you can just make your 1/1 Shadow by keeping a lot more life. Just deal 13. So we have Quinn who puts in a Phoenix. I looked away for a second. I assume he hard casted it based on how much mana is there. We're going to Lightning Axe our own Phoenix in response so it doesn't get exiled. You're playing snaps in the sideboard? That's crazy. Or not snaps. You're playing snaps and counter spells in the sideboard. That's kind of cool, honestly. But I wouldn't take my opinion as like great because I'm goofy, you know. Oh my goodness. Have you ever casted an extra spell and copied your dig through time? Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. I had somebody come in the room, so I kind of turned away for a second, and I wasn't quite sure how the Chandra had died. But maybe depending on its hand, he just doesn't care. Especially now, because he's putting 4 new cards in his hand. But I was not looking. Cool thing is, I hit the wrong one. This is not the one I meant to hit, but either way, you can see this side. This team. They're all just playing their blue-red control decks. And then we have this side who's playing potentially their own thing. Yeah, I'd say without watching it back, I'm not exactly sure. Oh, thank you, Jordan, who told me I have the arrows on the wrong match. I forgot about it. Good job, Jordan. Bibbs, I blame you. You didn't tell me. Yeah, my bad. Oh, this is this is a 7-8. Maybe this is why he let the Chandra go, because he's just like, I'll just win with this card. I don't really care. Dude, wouldn't it be sick if it was historic? But it's a modern, pioneer, and standard. This is just... This is so gross. Well, I mean, Fading Hope and Consider are pretty good. So I like what TJ's doing here. He's putting the Consider in the exile pile because Fading Hope and Consider at this spot are just going to do the same thing. But Consider's going to draw you a card deeper. Where Fading Hope was just going to target to bounce the Phoenix when you just need spells to do that now. Hit him for 7. Goes to 13. But I don't really see a way that TJ loses this game. Because he has 5 spells in hand. One being an Opt, one being Fading Hope, one being the extra turn spell. Not extra turn spell, the copy spell that he uses for his extra turns. But Lightning Axe that, which we get to cast any spell and 2 for 1 our opponent here. But like, he also might just let this resolve because it doesn't matter. Because it doesn't kill it and he has to do it again. Does it again. Now I imagine we see TJ protect this to basically just run him out of cards that he can't Lightning Axe it. He'll bring back Phoenixes, but I don't know if he truly cares. I almost think I would prefer... That kind of makes sense. He chooses no target. But I almost think I prefer him to Opt there. Yeah, that's... He Fading Hopes his own Hullbreaker back to him. But I guess if you have Express Iteration in that just makes sense. Never mind. I shouldn't be talking. So we basically let him bring the Phoenix back just to exile him permanently. So that's fine. And now he just has Hullbreaker on his end step here. He's playing a little bit more of the slow route, which is probably the safer route and probably the most, like, I'll just confirm the win here. Not necessarily take any risk. I don't have to. Or, like, he now knows that Quint has 3 Phoenixes in his exile. And the only thing he has to worry about is this land. And it can technically be Fading Hope back into his hand. Or we can just block it with a 7-8, hold up the Opt that we didn't cast earlier, and just put it back in his hand. And watch Quentin throw his cards. This is gross. But now we get to activate the Hall and then just kill him. So, worked out either way. He's too smart. Alright, so why they sideboard, we are going to pan over the other games and kind of see where they're at. So we're going to hop onto the modern game for a second while they sideboard here. See what's happening over here. A lot, I guess. I do not know what game they're on, and I'm going to assume they're... I couldn't imagine that they are... I just don't know if he's playing Express or EEs in his main or not. Because they might have just been tacking on it and put it in the main. But I could see realistically where Aaron got locked out or like had a super quick start, and one of them just had to concede, but I'm not exactly sure. The whole spotter issue again. Is it one E in the main? I was not sure because Aaron, for a while, had not updated his list ever. Like, there for a while, he goes, "Wait, we don't play Thought Scour anymore for Murktide?" And they're like, "Nah, you just get there naturally now." Yeah, so because the program I have, like if somebody had a laptop, they can actually sit out there and do all the information, which makes like keeping track of life totals and stuff super easy. That makes sense, this combo, by the way. It makes keeping track of all that stuff super easy for us. But today, like most employees are playing the event. I'm not, and Jordan's not, and Mike's not. So we're all working it. So it's kind of like how that turned out. So we're gonna hop over to the standard game. See how okay, so somebody's cast extra turns. Too bad we're not in Alchemy to know if those birds would have been there or not. Harsey just looked sad, hoping that his team can win, but he just looked over and saw that Cue Ball lost his game one, so he's probably not very happy. He looks so sad. Look at this. Look how upset he looks. Hair's all messed up and everything. He just has like 12 birds in play. Hey, look at Lucas. Lucas is just cruising. Look how fast. This man is schmoving. But back to our original game. They're probably about done sideboarding. Hey, Katarina. First time chatter. How are you doing? We are here with the blue-red team against the blue X team. Everybody's just playing blue. Because why wouldn't you? Everybody likes drawing cards. Unless you're playing Infect and you just like to kill them. Yes, yeah. This is from top down. If you look at the thing, the top players are playing standard, the middle ones are playing pioneer, and then the bottom ones are playing modern. Fair enough. I woke up incredibly early than what I normally do to be here on time, which made me sad.
What time do you wake up?
Bro, I'll wake up till like 2 in the afternoon if I don't have work. Well, I'm up till 5. Late night grinding with the boys, you know? Getting crushed in my favorite League of Legends game. Yeah, like if it was just 4 people, like 4-person tournament, and they just had blue red legacy too, with 4 copies of Expressive Iteration. That's the catch. You have to be playing 4 copies of that, or you're not allowed. I'm pretty sure the deck that TJ was playing only had 3, but they cut a card to make the 4th one fit. Yeah, that would make sense. It I never know what time frame people are in because we have a lot of people like that watch from like different countries and stuff. So it'll be like 6 in the afternoon for us or 6 o'clock, and they'll be like, "Good morning, it's 8 o'clock here," and I'm like, "Nice." Rolling. I think it's rolling volley. It's the uncounterable, deal 4 damage to a blue or white card creature. Brings it in to make sure he deals with these thing in the ices. The only thing that really kind of I think he's worried about because he's probably pretty well teched to play against blue red or rendering volley. Yeah. Wait, why did that go up there? What is this? Consider. How good is Consider been? That card. I know it just kind of replaces Opt in a lot of decks as we see an Opt get cast, but like it just being able to put the card in the graveyard is just so much better. Like a ton of times, because a lot of times you're not gonna scry a card to the bottom. Like you, on occasion you do, just because it's like the card might be good in the matchup, but it's not what you need at that moment. But it's definitely a card that you want to be playing whenever you're playing anything that benefits from the graveyard, because it helps fuel anything that you're trying to do. Players. It's a little weird trying to figure out how to do some of these cameras, just for the fact that it's like right now both people on TJ's side are looking over, just making small subtle comments, trying to help each other out. After this one, if this one ends in a 2-0, we probably will go to the Murktide deck, because we went to the standard, or at least the modern matchup, because we went to the standard one and it made my head hurt. So, we'll just go to the modern one. You guys imagine if the Urza pile was still a thing? I think it was like Star City, right? They skipped over to it, and there was just like 47 permanents on each side of the board. And they're like, all right, we're just going to come back to the casters. We ain't even going to try. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not, but it was like one of the first ones I had watched, and I just laughed about it. Yeah, I was gonna say, I just remember they went to it and they're like, okay, we're actually going to come back to us because we don't know what's happening. We're sorry. And so far, our standard things have also just been like no cards on one side, no cards on the other side. But like in terms of into play besides lands, and they both just have like 6 or 7 cards in hand, because I think the field's pretty heavy blue red X or blue X piles in standard, as every player in this 6-man thing is all playing blue. A lot of people are playing that card. So you can see a Phoenix and 2 lands. She puts Phoenix in hand. I thought, I don't know if this tricked anybody else. I thought he flipped the steam vents over and was going to slide the steam vents under face up. Like, I don't know why I thought that's what he was doing, but that's definitely what I thought he was doing. So there's another Charter Course. We discard the bird. Don't imagine TJ's under too much pressure. Spins the hand out. I think he has 1 removal spell in hand. Maybe another. I'm not quite sure. Treasure Cruise. Also just great. We got a Delver cards, bud. Very nice. I don't think there's like really a whole lot standard that, I mean, there's obviously a couple flashback cards that have been printed, but I don't think he has anything in his deck where he cares too much. And now we drew another Phoenix, which obviously we probably wish we had a way to do something about it. Yep, there's the removal. We're going to 2-for-1 ourselves to protect it, which I think makes sense because he has a ton of cards in hand. I think he has another Charted Course, a Mystical Dispute, Spire Bluff Canal, and Shock. Do we have an expressive iteration in hand and we started with the Charter Course? Yeah, we have an expressive iteration in hand and we shocked in a land. So we might lose some value on this expressive iteration. Never mind, doesn't matter. We hit 2 spells. Because we're cracked at Fortnite. Man, Quentin's playing like he's playing Storm. And that's 3 birds. Want to dispute the galvanic iteration, which is pretty standard here. We have to just kind of let it go. I mean, I feel like the turn here is probably let this go, put in a land, overload his Mizium Mortars, kill them all. Mizium Mortars is red, but he's going to go ahead and exile one of them. He also has a Rendering Volley in hand. Expressive Iteration, Mizium Mortars, and then I know what the last card is, but I can't think of what it is. I can't think of its name. Very loud judge call. Put ops in hand. Deciding on what land that we're going to play here. Going to make it a steam event, so he's probably going to potentially shock in here. Oh, it's a consider, and then it's unexpected windfall is the other card in his hand. He passed with unexpected up. I think that's pretty okay to do because you do have an uncounterable spell that you can make sure that you're not going to get hit too hard here. I feel like TJ's at much lower. He's at least at, I mean, obviously, he's at least less. He got hit by 2 Phoenixes at least, so he's wow. We didn't see him mystical dispute that. That's kind of a surprise for me. I'm pretty sure he has another one in hand. Obviously he cast out Narset on the stack, but it's just one-sided, homie. You play the card, he keeps reading the card. I genuinely don't know what he's at anymore. It looks like 10. I think he's at 10. So my prediction of him being at 14 was off. So I think if you're Quinn here, you don't fight over that. You just try to bring him back again. But TJ's passing with 7 mana available, 2 treasures, and 5 lands. See if Q-Ball keeps that on the top of his head. We got that's the wrong player. This is him. How's the sandwich, Colin? Was it good? I'm happy for you. I didn't update the records, team. My bad. Those are supposed to be like that. That's the whole point of why we have them. We can check boy TJ, who is absolutely chilling. I know he's gonna watch it back and he's gonna be like, "Man, why did I thumb my cards so many times?" Because he's mentioned it before that he's done it, and he'll be like, "Why did I do this?" So before combat, we're gonna cast a Conquistador. Oh God, we opted. He's he's conceding, but you're saying, well, let's go TJ, but TJ just lost that game, so a little weird face. But TJ being one to play here is going to be so much better for him. When had pretty good reoccurring um, Phoenixes, he was able to cast like a Treasure Cruise on 3 separate turns, I think. So that seems pretty good. Yeah, no. He was swinging into Phoenixes, and I think he was lower than because he didn't have his life total updated. So I think he was lower than I had him, but I can't really tell what was on his paper. Just real quick, we're gonna check on the other matches as they resolve mulligans here. So we're gonna go to. I don't know why Quentin's deck just disappeared. That's kind of a weird thing to happen. Why did that happen? That game just looks awful for the Murktide player. There's a rest in peace. I would assume Kahira's in play. There's Snapcaster, DRC, and we're stuck on 3 lands, and this is a Cycle Shark Typhoon. We're gonna go standard. Go blank. It's not great for you. So I gotta figure out what happened to Quentin's deck here real quick. Um, sorry if I break anything. Yeah, blue white was on in round 1, so Damien, Quentin, and Justin were actually the people in on game like on round 1. This round 2 where we were getting Lucas, TJ, and Aaron, and they just happened to match up. Colin. Oh, you're okay.
You're yelling at me.
I ain't yelling at you. Alright, so I have to try to fix this. Overlay test. Go in here, match info.
What do you mean?
Why in the world? Did it just like... Oh, just please be the right one. Oh no, I put it on the wrong one. Uh-oh. Ballbreaker. Okay, for whatever reason they just cleared it out. I don't know why. So got that fixed. Very nice. I missed a lot of what's happened, but I know an unexpected windfall was cast. The Million Mortars trying to take out the Sting in the Ice does. We passed. TJ's missed the land drop. We have really good hands if really good hand if we start hitting some of our land drops to just like get up to that 7 mana mark for our Hull Breaker. Cast Express Federation, it resolves. Pretty playable cards are hit. I mean, we already showed it. We might as well commit to showing it now. We also, I'm a little, I mean, I guess I don't know how you deal with Hull Breaker if you don't keep the Lightning Axes in because you have to use like it plus another 3 damage. But like, it still, I think, feels bad because we've seen him have to use 2 of them to kill Hull Breaker, which got bounced to TJ's hand, but he's only used it to save his Phoenixes for the most part. Being exiled, which worked in game 2, I just don't know if he has better sideboard options or anything like that. He might not, but there are 6 total rounds. The like before the cut, because there'll be a cut. I think there are 4 rounds, and then the top 4 will put like we play bracketed or whatever. So one will play 4, and then whoever wins that game plays whoever's second, third seed, and then that'll be how it's decided. I see this a little bit less. So instead of one hit, we're looking at about like $1,200 going out, I think. I could be wrong because at 15 teams, it's like 1480. So it's a little bit over a 1K, but we're still just gonna call it a 1K. Okay. If we do not have an answer for this cage, which we do not, it looks like in hand, we're about to be sad because there's also just a Hull Breaker in hand for TJ. That's probably going to come in on his end step with 2 mana available. He just said, I don't know if this deck's good, but I'm going to give it my best shot. So we see TJ consulting with his teammate about potentially playing his Hull Breaker and putting the Jace back in his hand and seeing if it's worth doing. And I believe that's not what happened. That's where I was going with it. So phase 3. Okay. So it is what happened, but like he made him use the rest of his mana up first and put it back in hand, which makes a ton of sense to me. Very nice. The other thing is he might have been asking like, he's like, I want to counter the spell for sure, and he might have been being like, okay, what would happen first? Would Hull Breaker put Jace back in his hand before my counter spell would be able to counter it? Which is how that would work. But he's definitely cruising. Yeah, more or less gotta get it done. Yep, they cannot come back, sir. And he didn't see one in game 2 either, so he probably wasn't too concerned about it. And now it's here to get him. Oh, Lord.
Like a little mermaid poos.
Oh, and I'm tired. Self-commentating's hard. I keep feeling I have to fill dead air.
My mommy texted me.
Huh? We jammed the J skin. which we're gonna target our own creature for 2 damage and put Jace back in his hand. Yeah, I feel that. Cause we had the store championship yesterday, and I was here to cast it too, and like stream it, whatever. Make sure a lot of the stream stuff was ready to go, and now I'm just zooted. Pretty sure. Well, unless he has a bounce spell, this Hullbreaker's dying. Unless it can target itself, which I think it can. No, it can't. It cannot. What in the world? They were inverted. So ours were perfectly fine. Another local shop's was like damaged, and your guys' was in. What happened to these? Why are they all so messed up? It's when they went to make historic into paper, and then they're like, nah, let's print cards that make it impossible to be a paper format. Oh, I thought, okay, so I all right, my bad. I thought the Hallbreaker said a non-land permanent that you don't control. I knew the spell could be any spell. Oh, never mind. So I have them backwards. So it's return target spell you don't control. Okay. I thought those were flipped for whatever reason, which wouldn't make any sense. My bad, Jetters. Kind of curious to see what TJ does here. So obviously he has the Hull Breaker in hand. And he has an extra turn spell that he's actually just gonna take 2 turns to probably kill him with this Hall of Storm Giants. Yeah, I assume that's where we're at. We're taking 2 extra turns. We have 3 mana available to pay for a Mystical Dispute. He shows him the exile pile so we can count them. And then we pay for it. We take our 2 extra turns. And then we just kill him with the Hall of Storm Giants, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or yeah, I'm pretty sure we can just kill him with the Hall, but he says, I want to do it with this. So we're gonna quickly hop over to the modern game. This game was won by TJ. Takes 2 extra turns, which is gross. Alright, so here, that's the standard game. I do not know what games these guys are on. I know it's definitely not game 1 because there has a Blood Moon in play. There's a Chalice. With a Solitude in hand, can exile his Murktide. We're not too worried about it. Nice mountain. Has no white mana, I think, right? Because I think those are islands. I believe those are all islands on the left side. Yeah. So the bets are off the main match. So I'll report it now. So if you voted TJ, congratulations, you won.
Nice.
So if you voted Blue Red Piles, you got it. Don't worry. I'll try not to pull a Terran and give the wrong people points. Uh, again, um, we will try to run predictions at the beginning of the round, and it will be only for the match that you see on screen, because it's a little hard to like, especially because based how I named the decks, it's kind of hard to know what they're playing. So it's kind of hard for you to be like, yeah, I think this team will beat this team, if you're not super familiar with all the decks in different formats. Okay, so I can confirm. I think that Team Hardesty, Quentin, and Damien lost. Yeah. I think he might have asked, but I'm pretty sure you have to have it in a different colored sleeve. Or the same colored sleeve. I don't know if he just didn't do it before the thing, because he'd been doing it just like for whatever reason. But like, you're not sideboarding in your Kahira ever, I think. So
Someone called for judge.
got Chalice check like a scrub. Once it's resolved, you missed it, homie. If it's resolved, you missed it, bro. Which again, I don't think this game matters. What are you doing?
Block out the sounds of my chewing.
Forehead. Nice. Blue-white players truly not missing their shot. What? Oh, now I messed up because I just saw him play that land just untapped. I was like, oh yeah, it's because it's a mountain. Yeah, see, that's why I tried to tell him like you need to put it in a different sleeve because there's scenarios where that happens, and I don't think he like comprehends that because he got a thick head. He big goofy. Um, I I don't even want to ask him because I you guys will see in a second. I was gonna ask if it's just over, but you can see that they're truly helping Aaron out here. They're both eye level to the table, just peeking at his hand, making sure they help him not make any misplays. Harsey got up and left because he had a headache, I think. But yeah, I guess in this spot, worst case scenario, you can always just like grab one from a sideboard card and take it off. But like, you could just also put it in the same sleeve and not forget it, you know? Oh, that would make sense if this game matters because of breakers, but um, I know sometimes like our players will play just because they're like on stream and they're like, oh, we might as well just play it out, you know? It's whatever. I I am not she I am pretty sure Damien would have just let that resolve again if Quentin wouldn't have been like Chalice, which is his teammate, and he is allowed to do that. Man, this kid about got Chalice checked again, team. I don't even know what life total Aaron's at. He's not throwing his dice across the room, but I know that he's at 13. We get that untapped by his teammate because it's also a mountain. We're at 10. It looks like. I'm not saying it looks like Aaron's somehow like above 20. I don't know how we got. Oh, probably a solitude at some point. Seriously? No? I don't know how he gained life, it looks like. But I cannot read his hand.
Who's that?
I don't know. Yeah, Blood Moon just get people good. He just snaps down the counter spell, doesn't let him resolve the surveil trigger, which is like not a big mistake, but it's definitely a mistake because now he knows that you're gonna counter that spell, so it can change how he surveils. Your cards looked at him upside down. Still has no white mana. Has all the blue in the world and all the red in the world. Makes his prismatic endings better. If he can ever cast it. Plays a hall untapped because it's a mountain. It's just the saddest thing I've ever seen.
What's so sad about it?
Because all the lands that Damien has played, besides the 3 on the left, are all mountains because of a card called Blood Moon. And so he has no white mana to cast 2 of the spells in his hand. And so this one creature has just been able to hit him repeatedly over the last couple turns.
Oh, so sad, so sad, so sad.
So he's going to cast a counterspell potentially, but I think we see that a teammate is talking to him, and they're kind of talking over what they would like to do. And this is where playing a team event is so important because you have your teammates that are kind of thinking a little bit differently than you. So they're like, yeah, just let it resolve. We'll worry about anything important. We're just going to try to kill him with this DRC. Is what I imagine the call is. Because a hit with DRC, 2 hits with DRC and a bolt potentially is just good. Yeah, the one card that I always hate to experience is Chalice. I think like if a deck like blue white's playing it, it's like whatever. But it's like when Eldrazi plays it, Eldrazi Tron, and then they can just put it on whatever number they want because they don't care. That's when I get sad. But like, Blood Moon's also in the... Yeah, Chalice Bridge, just all the ugly cards. Wait, how? Oh, we finally found a basic planes. Nice. This is where I think they're like, you definitely should hold that counterspell up. We're going to force this. He snaps a counterspell off. We're going to snap counterspell off back, I would imagine. We do not have a blue or a white to do a Dovin's Veto. So he literally only has mountains available. And I left it on the screen for way too long. Sorry. You guys were really getting to see how the team was interacting there. It might just be like a vocal thing. Like he's probably like saying DRC trigger, and Damien's probably like, yeah, because he can't really do a ton about it. He scoops him up. Yeah, it's more like. Is it more like? That's what when you see it happening, like when you see it happening like that, it's always kind of hard to be like, oh yeah, he probably just said it out loud, and he's like, yeah, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? And because I get where you're coming from, because that does happen a ton, where like things kind of happen really quickly, and people are like, wait, he's just like, it's a trigger, you can respond, and it's like, well, they probably were like, hey man, you care if I resolve this? And they go, yeah, that's fine. So I believe, based on the Heart of Seas thumbs down and the match that we saw, I believe that it was a 3-0 against the Hardesty squad. So what we can do is we can either ask TJ and them if they want to stick around, or we can try to find other people, but I still don't have any of the deck list.